This is a very interesting debate that I hope all members are paying attention to. In fact, the American people are paying attention to. Because all over this country, the American people are outraged by the misplaced priorities that we have seen in Washington over the last decade. We have seen a situation where we give huge tax breaks to the wealthy, and you have 2 million people sleeping out on the street. Billions of dollars into all kinds of obsolete weapon systems, and you have 5 million children who are hungry. When we come forward, and some of us come forward and we say, let's fund programs to feed hungry children or to fund Head Start or to house the homeless, we are told there's just no money available. We have a $4 trillion deficit. We've heard that argument once or twice. Now today, interestingly enough, in this general supplemental appropriations bill, we are seeing exactly the kind of politics as usual that outrages the American people. We are looking at spending $1.2 billion for expenditures on the military, which neither the Defense Department nor the White House has requested. Now, some people have said, well, Les Aspin would like the money. No kidding. So would every department head all over America. If we put $5 billion into housing, Mr. Cisneros would be here saying, hey, I think it's a great idea. But unfortunately, our job is to develop priorities. So what you have is $1.2 billion more that neither the President nor the Defense Department has asked for. It is ironic that later this afternoon, in the second supplemental appropriations, we will be asked to make cuts in worthy educational programs in order to fund other worthy programs, i.e. summer jobs programs for our kids. That's what we're going to be asked to do in an hour. There's not enough money to fund educational programs. We'll be told that in order to fund jobs programs, you've got to cut back on education. But now we're being told, no problem. We could spend another $1.2 billion on the military. Mr. Chairman, the cost of the Somalia operation and the other military needs this supplemental bill covers can easily come, as others have already said, from shifting unneeded or less lower priority monies from other military accounts. That's what the Clinton administration proposed, and that's what the Department of Defense agreed to. Now, Mr. Chairman, and this is the interesting part of this whole debate, every single day on the floor of this House, we hear speeches about our $4 trillion national debt and our $260 billion deficit. We hear them so often we can practically recite them from memory. And we know all the people who come up here. Remember our children and our grandchildren, that particular speech, how terrible the deficit is? We have all seen the dramatic press conferences on the need for a line-item veto, for a balanced budget amendment to the Constitution, and for other magical formulas for dealing with the deficit crisis. Well, today we're not dealing with magical formulae. We're dealing with concrete reality. It is time, frankly, to put up or to shut up. We're deciding whether to add another $1.2 billion to the deficit in military spending, which is not wanted by the Defense Department, or to decide whether we're going to finally act responsibly and say no. Mr. Chairman, I urge my colleagues to reject this unnecessary spending and to support the Andrews Amendment. Now is the time to finally begin developing some rational priorities for our country. If this amendment fails, I believe that many of us will have no choice but to vote down the entire supplemental. Thank you.
The gentleman from Kentucky.